So I've decided to put a shade sail over my patio, and after having a look round, I decided to use scaffold poles and the connections that they come with, because they had exactly the same dimensions and they were a fraction of the cost. And all these connections on this pole come from a scaffold company. So I'm putting a T-junction on the bottom of mine just to secure it even better in the ground. So you need 3 sections the same size to then bolt into that T-junction. Make sure your saw can saw metal. So cut that into 3 sections and then bolt those into that T-junction. You also need to make sure when you put your pole in the ground, it tips back 5 degrees. That's to take the bounce that this pole will take in winds when it catches under your shade sail. It's really important. Do not put this straight up. It has to be tilted back 5 degrees. So once everything's secure, that's the T-bar for the bottom. I've also got top ones that I will secure onto the pole before I put it into the ground, because obviously if you don't do it before you lift it into the ground, you need a big ladder to get up 4 meters to then attach them to the top. So make sure you do that before you concrete this into the ground. I've got membrane in my garden, so I've just had to cut that away with a Stanley knife. And then once you get rid of that, I started digging. So I started with a shovel, and then I used a post hole digger that I borrowed from a friend, and that went down around 3 foot. So just double check, depending on your shade sail, the depth to which you need to go down for your pole. Once all of that's out, I then put my T-junction down into the hole to check that I had enough space. To start off with, I didn't. This was probably the longest part of the job because I had to keep putting it down and digging the sides out so that T-junction would fit in. This is the top ones that I was talking about, which you need to put on before it goes in the ground. And there's the T-junction at the bottom. So once I checked that had enough space, I then put hardcore underneath it and hardcore on top, just to make sure it was additionally secure. Then you're ready for your postcrete. So you need to pour probably a third water into the ground before you pour your postcrete in. I ended up using 3 bags in mine, and I probably put a little bit too much water. But concrete is very forgiving, so mine drained away and yours will as well. So as long as you give it 24 hours to set properly before you replace your mud or your grass or your soil, depending on where it's placed in your garden, it won't be a problem.